Good morning, live over on Facebook and Dorking NTT page and on Instagram on the Sling Consultancy. So I'm just popping on to talk about something we covered in the community this week, which is setting your carrier up and positioning of baby before you do the carrier up or click it on. And so today I've got the Mamaruga Zabulu, which is a lovely print. So this one has lots of clips and things on it because it's amazingly adjustable. We need to set this up ready to use. And you're only going to need to do this sort of once, but then every time you're going to use it, you want to check some things off as well. So I'm going to narrow that so it's the right width for my baby. And then these straps on the front reduce the height of the panel. And so for this doll, I'm just going to do it. And the really important thing with this one is to get each side roughly the same. Otherwise you'll end up generally with a slightly wonky baby. Your panel might be the same height because you've done the top and the bottom, but you might find that it's more at the top or more at the bottom. So roughly you're looking for these straps to be about the same length, okay? And the same at the top. Now this also has these straps on the shoulders, and this sort of makes that shoulder strap a little bit smaller. You might find that for a rucksack carry that's really useful to do. You might not need it so much if you're doing a cross strap carry, okay? And again, you might find when you're going from a front carry to a back carry that you need to adjust these accordingly because you just want to check that you're getting the good fit. So the other thing is to check that all of your buckles are nice and loose so that they can be tightened. 1, 2, nice and snug. You want that nice and straight on your body. You want your straps loose, okay? Not too much on the end so that you can't grab them. So just make sure you can grab the ends, because sometimes with buckle carries, if it goes right in, really difficult to do up. And then again, I'm checking that my long straps are nice and long so that that's easier for me. And setting this up just means it's going to be easier when you've then got your baby, because you're not having to go, oh, I can't reach the buckle. And the other thing that's really, really important is when we get our babies, a lot of people just sort of do this, hold baby up there, and then they sort of bring the carrier to baby and you're getting feet all stuck in. So the key thing to do is make sure that this bottom is on this piece of fabric. And in fact, you want it more sitting down here because you want the fabric to scoop up and create like that, what we call the seat, like a little hammock for your baby. Okay, so get your baby positioned on your body how you want them in the carrier, rather than just pulling the carrier up and then finding it slightly uncomfortable because your baby's in a slightly off-centered position. So get them in the center on your body, tuck their pelvis towards you, so it's literally that movement, tucking their pelvis, scooping their pelvis towards you, give them a nice J shape, and it also helps support their head. Hands will be up. This doll doesn't generally like doing that because it's floppy. And then go underneath the carrier, pat their bottom and roll the carrier up their back. And you'll find that you'll get a nice smooth finish on baby's back. So then when you're ready to do your straps up, put your arm all the way across. We've got the slack here to move and the same here. So I'm pulling down and then across, pinning it with my arm and clipping it in. Okay, so once you've got your back one set up quite well, then you don't necessarily need to do that. And then pull forwards. And you're always pulling parallel to how it goes into the buckle. So I tend to put it around my finger, like that, just to pull a little bit, okay? Generally, it's easier to adjust things on our carriers like these perfect fit adjusters on the shoulders and these pieces when baby's not in the carrier, just because their gravity and their weight is working against you. So what we can do is lift baby's weight and then tighten, and sometimes that makes it a bit easier. And again, I can pass that round to that hand to do that. One up. Pull those across your shoulders. So at the moment this carry is a little bit too high for baby, so I'm lifting and then I can pull down on these straps, okay? These ones are generally a little bit easier to do. The bottom ones, obviously, shortens that part of the panel and this shortens this part of the panel. Overall it shortens the whole part of the panel. So again, just checking that you've got these roughly the same length, because then you'll find that it's nice and even. So going through your checks, can you be hands free? Can baby breathe? Seeing clear face, and you're comfortable. So with this one, you want the strap crossed nice and low. You don't want too much looseness here, because if you've got looseness here, it will eventually do this, and that cross comes up and it makes it uncomfortable. So just pull it to the outside of your shoulders and adjust again here, pull up and bring it round. You've got a little bit more to tighten. And it's all about small little incremental changes. Okay, so the key things are getting it well set up before. Now when you take your carrier off, you can help yourself next time. Loosen your buckles. It's much easier to grab that buckle now that I've done that. If I'm trying to undo this and it's not moving, it's a little bit, it's not as mobile. So just loosen it, really little bit of pressure there, loosen, and click. And then you can take your carrier off. That's Feature Friday. So checking that you're putting your baby on your body in the position you want them in to be once they're in the carrier. Just be mindful of that pelvic tilt and adjusting the carrier accordingly as well. Especially with adjustable carriers, it's really easy to forget that our baby's growing and changing and that we might need to spread it a little bit wider or increase the panel height. And again, depending on your body position where you're wearing your baby, if you're front or back carrying, you may need to adjust some of those straps as well if you're using it rucksack versus a cross style. Any questions, let me know. I can happily help you get the best fit and comfort when you're using your sling or carrier. I'll be at All Saints this morning for social meets, so I'll be working there. If anyone wants to pop along, ask questions. I'll have a selection of wraps, slings, ring slings, stretch wrap and buckles, and woven wraps. And then next sling library is the 11th of February. Available with consults, you can book online, just click the button. But yes, have a great weekend. I hope you have some nice adventures with your slings this weekend, and I will see you soon.